Morning sports briefing here on the Tuesday, the 1st of June. Hi, I'm Paul, and I'll be your host this morning. In the news today, we'll be having a chat about the scheduling of the Chiefs versus Rebels game this coming weekend. Also, we've got results from the A-League, the NBA, and also the NBL in the football and basketball. In the golf, we'll bring up to how Danny Lee was going over in the USA as that tournament comes to an end. We'll report from the IndyCar, where the two Scots were involved in the Indy 500 in that one, and also it's Roland Garros, the French Open, has kicked off with controversy over there. This is your best way to start the day up with all of the important sports news. And let's round up how the golf finished at the Charles Schwab Challenge. Kokrak won the tournament at 14 under par with a par fourth round there to win with two shots clear of Spaeth, who shot three over par to slip out of first place. Danny Lee, in that fourth round, Danny Lee finished at 2 under par for the tournament. At tied 40th place. Decent result for him. Making the weekend is a good start, and 40th, not a bad result for Danny Lee over at the Charles Schwab Challenge. Moving on then to the United States, moving on to the basketball over there. Yesterday, the Hawks beat the Knicks 113-96 to take a 3-1 lead in their series. The Suns even things up with the Lakers, beat by them 100-92. So it's 2-2 in that one in the first four. The best of 7 series. So that's turning into a cracking opening first round series. And the Nets had a big win over the Celtics, 141-126 to take a 3-1 lead in that one. Finally, the Clippers beat the Mavericks 106-81 to even up with their one as well. So that series is also tied at 2-2. So a couple of cracking series there in the NBA's first round of the finals. Already, one team is through to the second round. I've kind of lost my page for that, with the Milwaukee Bucks having beaten Miami Heat 4-0 to go through. They're the first team that has, gone through so far. The only other team that is undefeated in the first round of Philadelphia ahead of Washington. There's a 3-0 lead, and they've still got a chance of coming through unbeaten. Moving on then to the NBL over in Australia, and Melbourne United unsurprisingly beat the Taipans 101-76 to cement their place at the top of the table. The Breakers are back in action tomorrow at 7:30 against the Taipans. Bottom of the table clash there between those two. The Breakers looking for a win in New Zealand with that one. Moving on then to the A-League, and in a blow to the Wellington Phoenix hopes of making the finals, MacArthur FC beat Western United 2-1, and that secures them a place in the finals. Currently, they're sat in fourth place. Where they'll finish up in that top 6 is yet to be decided. The Wellington Phoenix now really looking for Brisbane Roar to lose their last 2 games of the regular season to have a hope really of making it through. Brisbane Roar are next up against Perth Glory, who are sat in 9th place, who I think who need to win both their final games to have a chance of making the finals. So still some hope for the Wellington Phoenix. Today, we've got the Central Coast Mariners taking on the Newcastle Jets. Central Coast Mariners up in 3rd place, the Jets down in last. Moving on then to the tennis, which is where the big news really is this morning. Naomi Osaka the number 2 seed in the has won her first round game over at Roland Garros, and then it refused, or then didn't turn up for the post media interviews like she said she wasn't going to do. She had won in straight sets 6-4, 7-6 ahead of Ting of Belgium, I think it is, there in that one. She was fined for not turning up to fined $15,000 for not going to that's US dollars, for not turning up to the post-match news conference. This has been kind of all the news around this tournament has been her statement that she would not be doing it for mental health reasons. She has said now that she's probably best for her to pull out of the tournament and let the other players focus on the tennis, and we'll get back to focusing on tennis and also for her well-being as well. So she has announced this on Twitter that she's going to be pulling out of the French Open at Roland Garros. So she also said that she'd had suffered long bouts of depression since the 2018 US Open that she won by beating Serena Williams, so the number 2 seed, pulling out of the French Open there. A couple of tennis players, including the women's world number 1 and the French Open champion, have said they respect her decision but have said that they think that talking to reporters is part of the job in that one. Clearly a problem in tennis there as to how the media, the relationship between the media and the players. New Zealand focus at Roland Garros will be mainly on the men's doubles, where we have 2 players involved in that one, and they have not started their tournaments yet. And we'll keep you up to speed with how they go at the French Open here on the morning sports briefing at 7 a.m. every single morning. Those is Daniel will be with his partner from Austria, Oswald. They're the number 16 seed. And Venus will be with his Australian partner Piers, the number 10 seeds in that one. So they will keep you up to speed with how they go here on the morning sports briefing. Moving on to IndyCar then, and it was a disappointing day for both Scott McLaughlin and Scott Dixon in this one. Scott Dixon was ran out of fuel in his pit stop and stalled, so that dropped him down to the back of the field as they got him back going. Scott McLaughlin hadn't pumped his brakes coming into the pits, and his brakes were cold, and he locked up and then got a speeding fine in the pits, luckily, and nobody was hurt in that one. He said that was what had caused his issue was, he hadn't warmed his brakes up coming into the pits. So both those drivers, unfortunately, didn't perhaps fulfill the promise that or their hopes in the race. The race in the end was won by the Brazilian Helio Castroneves, bad pronunciation. Therefore, making him his fourth title at the Indy 500. Only the 4th driver to have ever done it, and he equals the top there, most wins at the Indy 500. So congratulations to him, the 34-year-old. 43-year-old. Sorry, I want to get my numbers mixed up. Winning that one. Moving on then to the rugby, and the Melbourne Rebels are due to be playing the Chiefs this weekend in Hamilton. There is hope that the travel bubble will reopen on Friday, allowing the Rebels to fly on Saturday over to Hamilton which was supposed to be the game day, but the sensible decision has been made to push back that game by 24 hours, and obviously for player welfare, etc. So the game will now be played on Sunday in Hamilton, assuming that the travel restrictions are lifted. If not, then then they're working on a backup option of playing the game in Sydney, just as the Highlanders did against the Rebels this last weekend. So it looks like that game will be going ahead. The only question is where it will be. Will it be in Hamilton, or will it be in Sydney this coming weekend? You have now started the day the best way to with all the important sports news. Don't forget to join us at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning for the morning sports briefing, and at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening for the Driving Mall Show.